What if all the energy of the sun, every last photon, every last joule, every last insane nuclear fusion-powered watt, suddenly focused into a single point in space? Not a Death Star, not a laser beam, not some sci-fi flashlight held by an overconfident alien teenager, but literally the entire output of our sun, condensed, tightened, and pointed like a cosmic magnifying glass at one lone, unlucky spot. Sounds fun, right? Good! Let's begin the destruction. Right now, the sun outputs 3.828 x 1026 watts. That's 382.8 septillion joules per second. To put it in human terms, if you burned every barrel of oil ever produced in human history, you still wouldn't produce even 0.01% of the sun's power in 1 second. The sun is not powerful. It is astronomically violent by design. And now we're imagining all of that power megalomanically focused in one single spot. Where? Pick anywhere. Sahara Desert? Pacific Ocean? Washington, D.C.? Your neighbor's front yard? Don't lie, you thought about this. Doesn't matter. Because the moment the sun focuses its power into one point, the first event is... The target no longer exists before we even talk vaporization, melting, shockwaves, or cosmic level BBQ. We need to understand how fast atomic matter breaks apart under this kind of power. Let's assume we choose a point on Earth. The instant the sun's power focuses there, the ground doesn't melt. It doesn't burn, it doesn't even vaporize, it ionizes. Meaning, the atoms themselves lose electrons and are blasted apart into plasma before they even understand what happened. Temperature at the focal point instantly shoots past. 10 million degrees C, the temperature of the sun's core. So yeah, the ground becomes instant sun core plasma. And it gets worse. The hole through the Earth, the beam doesn't stop at the surface. It punches through the planet. Not like a drill, not like a bullet. Like a god-tier lightsaber powered by nuclear fusion on steroids. Within 0.01 seconds, you now have a plasma tunnel bored straight through the crust. Mantle turned into a superheated jet of vapor. Shockwaves detonating through the planet Earth doesn't take damage. Earth develops an exit wound. And on the other side, a massive radioactive plasma fountain shoots into space like a cosmic flamethrower. Congratulations, you just created Earth-flavored space soup. The continent-sized explosion. Since all of the sun's output is now hitting one point, the rest of the planet suddenly experiences no sunlight. Meaning, the entire Earth immediately drops to 200 degrees C space temperature. Darkness falls instantly. Photosynthesis dies everywhere. Winds collapse. Oceans begin freezing from the top down. The sky turns black. But at the focal point, the opposite happens. A continent-sized explosion forms around the beam. Rocks flash boil, lakes explode into steam pillars, air detonates into expanding shockwaves. This isn't a crater. This is half a continent being blown into plasma. The oceans get involved. If the focal point is ocean, and God help the dolphins if it is, the entire ocean around the spot is. Flash-boiled, vaporized, shockwave lifted, turned into expanding plasma clouds. Remember, the sun's entire energy output is 10 billion times stronger than every nuclear bomb ever created. Per second. By the time 1 second passes, the Pacific Ocean is no longer an ocean. It is a gigantic steam explosion expanding at hypersonic speed. Cloud formation? Gone. Atmosphere? Gone in the impact zone. Marine life? Ha! Nice joke. The Earth's orbit starts changing. Here's where things get cosmically weird, because the sun is now emitting directional energy instead of uniform radiation. The sun begins experiencing recoil, like a rocket. Yes. We literally turned the sun into a cosmic thruster. Newton's third law says, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the sun pushes Earth with a focused beam. Earth responds by being blasted into catastrophic chaos, and the sun is pushed in the opposite direction. Meaning, the Earth's orbit destabilizes, the sun moves slightly, gravity equations fall apart, planetary orbits distort, the solar system becomes a confused, unstable mess. If you did this long enough, hours to days, you could literally eject planets from their orbits, crash planets into each other, destabilize the asteroid belt, turn the entire solar system into an interplanetary demolition derby. If the focal point is not Earth, let's place the beam somewhere else. The moon, instantly vaporized. Earth loses tidal stability. Climate collapses. Oceans go chaotic. Nights become pitch black. Earth tilts unpredictably Jupiter. The sun's focused energy ignites the atmosphere. A continent-sized hydrogen firestorm erupts. Jupiter becomes a mini-star-like explosion for several seconds. Highly unstable, could trigger runaway fusion. Solar system. Done empty space. The beam travels infinitely, could vaporize asteroids, comets, maybe even distant spacecraft, would distort space dust into glowing plasma lines. Another planet, just delete it. Instantly. No drama. The Earth eventually disintegrates. After a few minutes of direct sun core level energy, Earth doesn't die. It is unmade. Atoms no longer remain bonded. Rock becomes plasma. Atmosphere escapes. Oceans boil. Magnetic field collapses. Plate tectonics stop. Gravity weakens as mass is ejected into space. By the end, Earth becomes a cloud of glowing plasma, a dusty debris ring, a comet-like trail of its own vaporized elements. You basically turned Earth into a cosmic smoke cloud. The dark comedy side. Here's the sarcastic part. Even if somehow, magically, someone survived the first 0.01 seconds, they would freeze in global darkness, roast from faraway radiation, suffocate from air loss, witness Earth turning into soup. But hey, at least your electric bill would drop to 0. Final thought, if all the sun's power focused on one place, you wouldn't get a superweapon, you'd get a cosmic eraser, and the universe would barely notice the disappearance of one small rocky planet that thought it was important. Would you like another what-if scenario?